Are we live? And we are live. Oh my God. Welcome back to this day two of Star East 2023. I got it right. I keep confusing it with Star West. And to open our series of interviews, I managed to convince our friend Maria to come here and share a little bit of what she's doing here, where does she come from, and all these little details. But before of that, Maria, thank you very much for agreeing to join us.
Thank you very much. Well, it was more like a forced volunteer, but I'm happy to be here
I know.
still.
I had to bring up the knife, and Maria, you better
Yeah, it
come
was
now.
like it's so scary, to be honest, Liano.
The mustache intimidates people, so that's part of the secret.
Yeah. No, I'm joking. It's a pleasure to be here. It's actually my first day. So for you, it's the second, as you say. But I just arrived yesterday from Berlin, a long trip.
And I understood it was not only long but interesting, right? You had multiple connections, and
Yeah, we went. So I come representing Brightest, actually.
Yeah.
So a little bit different from the other people that you're going to have here because I'm not a speaker, I'm not anything like that. I'm actually a sponsor. So I am representing Brightest. And I came from all over from Berlin with my CEO, Kyle. So he's probably we're
Hope
trying to
to have
convince
him
him to
here
come here
soon.
as well. Yeah. And so we fly to Amsterdam and then from Amsterdam to JFK. So in New York, New Jersey. Yeah, it's New York. Yeah. It's really close to New
JFK
Jersey.
is New York,
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe.
And then we finally arrived here. So it was almost 20 hours
Ow.
of traveling. It was interesting.
Are you jet lagged?
I don't know yet, to be I slept at night, but then I looked at my watch and I realized it was a night. It was day there already.
Yeah.
So let's see how it goes.
I don't think you will
end.
have that much trouble. As you get my age, that's when you start to notice jet lag. But
Don't talk down about yourself.
no,
Come on.
I can't deny it. I'm starting to feel it. But this is not about me. I wanted to
Not
ask
yet.
you because no, the audience have enough about me.
Do
shouldn't
they?
do that now. But okay, this is your first Star East.
Yeah.
This is your first trip with Brightest.
Yeah, officially. I don't count Potsdam as a trip.
Well, yeah, it's
Last
next
year,
next.
it's
just
right there. Yeah.
What is it? An hour train?
Oh no, not
30
even.
minutes?
And at the time, I was living in Potsdam, so it's like
Oh,
it was basically
No, doesn't
there.
count. Yeah. So this is your first trip with
Yeah.
Brightest. So,
International, overseas.
first of all,
Mhm.
quick background for you. How did you end up in Brightest?
Oh, so I was job hunting, and I actually have a background in international relations with nothing to do with that. But then I also have some experience in marketing in a startup and all of that. And I was looking for jobs in Berlin, and I found this amazing ad that said that they were looking for a certification and partner manager in Berlin, and they needed someone to speak Portuguese and Spanish. It was a plus. So. Mi español no es muy bueno, pero yo comprendo también.
Es bueno.
No. And I applied, and it was in English as well. So I've just moved to Germany, to Berlin specifically. And I went to the interview, and it was this amazing company and environment because even though we're a small team, we're all really international. So you don't have well, we kind of have a German there.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like we speak multiple languages. So from Portuguese to Russian, Arabic, Spanish, of course, English is our
French, Portuguese,
French as well. We have Ukrainian as well, Vietnamese, Italian. So you have a full and German, of course.
Yeah.
So as you can see, even though we're a small team, we're well equipped, basically. So yeah, so basically I went through the interviews and I became a certification and partner manager specifically for the Portuguese speaking market. So
it's a strength that you brought to the team. And
yeah, so here we go Brazil, here we go Portugal, also like for those who don't know, Mozambique, Angola. So there are markets in development as well, especially in TI. IT.
Yeah, because you are
in
thinking
Portuguese.
it is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For us in Spanish, it's the same.
It's the same, right?
TI.
TI, yeah.
But on this, what are your activities in Brightest? What is this your daily basis? And we're getting to
What do I
Brightest
do?
in a
Yeah.
moment, but
What do I do? So basically, as I was telling you, so the goal is to develop the Portuguese speaking market, and I'm also in the North American one. That's why I'm here. So for US and Canada, that's why
mhm,
I'm attending Star East. So the goal is to go after partnerships and basically made Brightest known in the world as well,
mhm.
in the world, in the industry.
In the world, why not?
Yeah, of course. And we also, each one of us also has a strength or a field that likes the most. So there's someone who's more towards sales, someone more towards the office management. Me specifically is more like the marketing strategy, and that includes events as well.
Mhm.
So things that I can tell you that we do, of course, social media, but also customer support. So we
Mhm.
answer to everyone, especially in my case, I answer to everyone from Portugal, Brazil. So every email in Portuguese or in
You
English.
know who wrote the response?
Yeah, you know. Well, they know in the signature anyway, but
Oh.
but yeah, you will know. So if you need anything, you can just email us. We answer right away. So it is basically customer support and business development. So that means dealing with the partnerships with the partners that we already have, just meetings and just trying to be better and serve better, basically, and the exams. So we collect your
Oh, that's
exams.
because
Mm,
what does Brightest do? That's
exactly.
the
Everyone
interesting
is
part.
like, what? Like
Brightest is
certification, like business development?
for the ones that do not know, because I know many the
Yeah.
audience. We have a lot of QA people,
Hmm.
performance on my
Yeah.
side. What does Brightest do?
So we are the bad guys that
Wait,
make you do the
what?
exam. I'm joking, just because
You help with the exams because
we
you don't
have.
make people do the exams.
No, no, no. Exactly, exactly. But we provide a smoother experience. I like to think of that. Exam is a really stressful experience. So everyone from QA, so quality assurance, and IT in general. So we have from software testing to software architecture to metrics as well, and then we have the whole united portfolio. As you know, performance, Selenium, all of that. So we provide the service of certification. So that means that we partner with companies that provide the training. So there's companies that do the training to companies and people and all of that, and we do the part of the examination. So it's non-biased. This is also because of all the ISO norms and all of
Hmm.
that. It's required. So if you ever heard about ISTQB,
Yeah.
ISAQB, IFPUC, these are boards that we collaborate and the exams we make, basically.
You help
Yeah,
people
we help
present.
people. Yeah, and the difference I was telling you, like taking an exam is a really stressful moment, and I think especially, and correct me if I'm wrong, and if you did an exam or not, don't you think it's even more stressful when you're already working, you're out of school, you're out of this mindset of
It's
taking
interesting
exams?
because my perspective on certifications, when I started doing them, I already was working, and the material in the certification or what I had to know,
Hmm.
I didn't learn it in school. I learned it at the office
Yeah.
while I was working. So it was fresher knowledge. I didn't have to study that much.
Hmm.
Of course, when it's a certification of something that I know, that
Yeah.
I am well versed, because and probably this is another perspective on certifications. There's people that are trying to get them to
Hmm.
get the job,
Yeah.
and that's
There's
when,
two routes.
yeah, and then you get it when you already have been doing the job
Hmm.
after a while, just to certify that you
Yeah.
know it, right? And it's interesting because in certifications, my perspective is that for newbies or people that do
Hmm.
not know the topic very well, it helps them to come in and getting it's like a study, like
Hmm.
you
It's
get
like for
a,
dummies almost.
no, like in school
Yeah.
you
Oh,
get
yeah.
a title,
Hmm.
a degree or something, but you haven't had experience.
Yeah.
You were just taught about it, and you're certified that you know this stuff
Hmm.
from the career, whatever um, bachelor or major you did. And that's the other path, when you learn it by trade, by doing it, and then you can certify
Hmm.
that you have been doing it for a while. So there are some of those different paths that probably the experienced people may not feel that uncomfortable, but the unexperienced and young people, who would you say does more certifications, young people or old veterans, old farts like me in the industry?
I wouldn't say if there's more than one or the other. We certainly have both.
Balance?
Yeah,
Cool.
it's kind of a balance. Well, it depends. I kind of see this trend nowadays that I think more people are doing the career transition. So they're not out of college. They already have this whole
A few
experience in
years.
other field, especially in other fields.
Ah,
At least this is happening. We're seeing this trend.
what fields?
There's everything. And be aware, I'm talking as well of Brazil. I do know a little bit of everything
Okay.
that happens, because every person in our team is specialized in a region
Different region,
of the world,
country.
but we do have a perception. So, but I think this is interesting to talk about. So there's these people, I think also after COVID, is like technology is
Mm,
huge now, right? And there's huge demand, as you know as well. So
and allows for remote work
and
easier.
allows for remote work. That was the big twist. So I see people from sales, from marketing, even from health, like that they're just trying to pursue this other field. And I'm talking like 30 years old or 40. Like there's not even the youngest ones, and they're doing the certification exactly because of that. Because even though they do have field experience, but it's in another topic, right?
Hmm.
There's skills that are transferable, but they do need something to prove. So maybe these people are not going to take a bachelor's now. They might do a boot camp, or they study by themselves. And then by taking a certification that it's international recognized, it's an international standard, they kind of get the step up.
Hmm.
So it's easier for them to actually go to an interview and explain what they know and get an opportunity. So this is maybe the third route even.
That's a very interesting. I'm surprised about what you're describing because makes sense, but
Yeah.
I never thought that. I mean, social and economics and the world, how is
Hmm.
this changing? Especially after you say after the
Yeah.
pandemic. This is I didn't see this coming. That's very
Oh, it's
interesting. It's yeah,
surprise.
yeah, yeah.
I can tell you someone that can tell you a little bit more about that. I think Julio. You
Hmm.
can ask him about this.
A part of the Brightest
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, apart. So he's one of the speakers here. But ask him about this. Just, I might be wrong. Come on. This is a thing I'm seeing from inside of our company, of course.
Hmm.
But he also helps a lot of people in this case. So ask him about it to see if it's in the right way or not.
And from your perspective,
Hmm.
would you say being certified or chasing a certification helps people, gives them what benefits do they get? I mean, promote it a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So what I can say is that certification is for everyone, but at the
Hmm.
same time is not. So it really depends on their goals.
Yeah.
So there's people who have 20 years of experience, whatever, 2010, and they don't need a certification to prove that. They just go on
I've been out there for a while.
their
Everyone
career.
knows, and why do I need it?
Yeah, if you think about it, it's a little bit similar like saying, oh, we don't need a bachelor's. You can be just like the next Steve Jobs and drop out and create a big company. But the thing is, the majority of them still go to college, still take a bachelor's, and still show that, right?
Hmm.
And then they acquire the experience. So let's make just a slight difference between these two. Their certification acknowledges your no, sorry, but acknowledges your knowledge,
Yep.
not your experience. Okay, so this is important. And there's so many certifications, and nowadays they're more focused on tools as well, tools and
Hmm.
techniques or way of communicating. So I do think it's a good add up, but it really depends on the person's perspective and career. There's a lot of people who can go on just with networking and good performance without any piece of paper, but for the majority of them, they do appreciate a certification. So I'm not selling this to everyone. I'm just saying it's good for everyone. It fits for everyone in the field, as long as they are QAs, of course, or they are performing in the field. But it really depends on your goals. And for the ones that are doing the transition,
Yeah.
or they're trying to enter in the freshers, for example, I do think is a really good advantage, because it's something that not a lot of people know about before entering the field.
Yeah.
This is the impression I have. The work is not, for example, you go for college students, they have no idea about this TQB yet. So if you do have it, and the HR sees that, or the company sees that you have, they're like, oh, this person did the homework, they know about the field, they know what's up. So
Because
it's
there are a
good.
few that I have seen, they don't even read the syllabus. They
No.
just like, not to be bragging or something. I was one of
Hmm.
those when I did one of the performance
Hmm.
certifications. I'm like, I have been using this tool for ages. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I kind of cooperated with the syllabus long ago,
Yeah.
blah. So yeah, that's good.
You passed.
But the syllabus and some of those materials, even for people switching, I
Hmm.
think it's a great study guide and to give them more knowledge, more
Hmm.
understanding. You're right with that. That in my younger years, I remember doing certifications and studying for them
Yeah.
because, yeah, I was 23, 24, something like that. And I'm like, I don't know enough of this. And oh, you can do this with this, and you can
Right.
be getting certified. The process of getting certified, because gladly or sadly, when I got those certifications was Java
Hmm.
and C sharp development. Um, I really never used them. They didn't like to get a job or
Hmm.
to move around or get access and the
Yeah.
secret codes or something. No, but professionally,
Hmm.
gathering that, achieving that certification helped me to know and understand better the tools and do better my job.
Yeah.
Which I think it's a very good uh, like outcome for the people that are coming from other fields.
Hmm. Yeah, for
And
sure.
that and makes me curious, what certifications would you say are the most requested, common,
Oh,
effective,
I would
and
say common, not effective,
yeah,
because
that's why
effective,
I'm clarifying
you
different.
have to study the after, right, the outcome. So the most common for sure is the ICQB CTFL, the foundation level, and that's also
C
TFL. So
CTFL stands for.
uh, foundation level, certified tester foundation level.
Got it.
So if you want to go into quality assurance, this is the to go. And also is the minimum one for you to be able to take the advanced ones, as you know. So
The starting point,
yeah,
prerequisite.
it's the only requirement, actually, for not the only, it's the must requirement. Then I was going to touch a point that you said, that then there's advanced levels like test manager or test automation manager, and those ones, actually the requirements are always the CTFL, but experience. And why is that? Is because of what you said. Because when you do the exam, there's things that there is in the syllabus, but there's things that you only know from experience.
Hmm.
And this is true, the exams are made like that, and that's why the experience is a requirement, because you have to understand of that, you have to have lived and failed and all of that to be able to know and interpret those questions. So this is the tip for advanced levels. That's why the requirement is experience. So don't diminish or think, oh, I can do this. Maybe you can, but experience still plays a role. So
Hmm.
here we can see this perfect wedding between certification, which is the proof, the knowledge of your knowledge, built with the
Experience.
experience, which is something that, for example, in the bachelor's, you don't have that much
Yeah.
yet. It depends on the country, on the bachelor's, of course. But that's kind of the difference why it's a certification and not, if you think about it, that a degree. It's because it mixes both. It mixes like the knowledge you have to have and the experience as well. And I was going to add something to what you were saying, which was more important than the, not more important, but besides the knowledge,
Another important
the
point.
techniques. Yeah, it's a lot of important stuff. Um, it's the fact that this kind of certifications of boards, recognized as TQB, book, whatever, they allow you or someone who's entering the field to be able to communicate in a standard language. What I mean is, now you see these trends like global working. I know that you're not even working here, you're working in Sweden, right? So you have a different culture. Even though you speak perfectly the language, for example, you still have different terms, you have different cultures, right? So what this certifications also attempt to do is kind of standardize this vocabulary. That's why there's a glossary as well. And making you able to communicate with everyone around the globe about these technical terms. So that's a huge opportunity because that allows someone to actually learn something and apply it on the company from the other side of
Mhm.
the world, you know. So
It's
yeah, I would
very
say.
interesting because when you said that, right away it came to my mind when everyone calls everything DevOps. That laugh, you have already seen that. I have a feeling, and in QA as well, IT in general,
Yeah.
there are some terms that are misunderstood, and you see people commonly misusing them or
Oh,
interchangeably. Personally, it drives me nuts, and that has been my rant,
your mission,
my mission,
your
that performance
quest.
testing is not the same as load testing. But in IT, in QA, we have so many of those confusions. I have heard people calling, instead of a test case, is a scenario. And no,
Mm,
that scenario is this, but if this is a scenario, then what that other thing is
yeah,
called, and it's like a huge mess.
yeah.
And it's really good that the certification has, from these syllabus and the
Hmm.
glossary and all these terms, like this is the common ground. Stop calling,
Exactly.
what was the saying? Let's call a spade, and not a gardening tool. Where it's important that we get together to a common language
Hmm.
in our processes, in our offices, organizations.
Yeah.
And I'm curious because you were saying other elements, like not only which one is the most popular, common, or
Hmm.
but I got interested. How do you measure this experience for people that are applying for the advanced levels?
Well,
What do you ask? So for the people that are watching or will be watching, to know
mhm.
what they should be having at hand when they come and like, oh, I would like to get certified in this, right?
Yes. So basically, what they have to show is a certificate number. First of all, the
From the
foundation
previous
level,
one.
yeah, and then basically they have to assure us that they do have this experience because it's a little bit hard also to know. So they sign a consentment that they have the experience. It's also a lot about being able to recognize if you do have this experience, you know, if you do if you are prepared for this as well. And it's a little bit, then it goes to the other way, which we didn't talk much about it, which was the trainings, because there's people who do it with self-study, for example, the certifications, but the majority actually does it with the training because they are so specific as well.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this, so doing with the training or without having the prerequisites, because some of them are mandatory, some of them are recommended. The experience is more like a recommended in some of them. You can see an ICQB website, the official one. You go through every certification and you have everything. So you have what you're gonna get from that, or what it's gonna um, forgot the word, assess your knowledge
Okay,
on.
okay.
And
Validated.
yeah, thank you, validate
Tests for it.
the
Pun
test.
intended.
Yeah. And also, what are the requirements? The Always the basic requirement is CCTFL, so
Mm-hmm.
everyone knows now. So if you want to pursue other ones, even if you have 20 years of experience and you want to do the advanced level, you have to take the CTFL if you don't have it yet, because it's the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Prerequisite.
the name.
Yeah.
It's the common ground, as you said. The CTFL is the common ground.
Yeah.
So you might have been doing that for 20 years. So okay, so just take it.
It's gonna be easy
It's a
for
common
you if
ground.
you're doing it well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good one that just popped in my
Mhm.
head. I know some people, veterans, or as you say, decades into the industry, and they were never aware that they were doing some things wrong, some
Yeah.
details. And in
Yeah.
these certifications, or being exposed to new processes, new places, or material,
Yeah.
exams, tutorials,
Yeah.
trainings.
You learn what you didn't know.
I got that after I'm never shy to admit, after 5 or 6 years of doing performance testing, I learned the right way to script, and I was like, oh, I've been doing this wrong for a long time. Like,
That's
and
really good of you to say it. Actually, it's really humble.
yeah, if I don't have enough fingers for the amount of mistakes that I commit constantly per day, I would say.
Yeah,
um, no, but it's something, and that's another side because some people won't admit that. It's in
yeah.
some places a shame and like, no, but now you're certified. We know that
Hmm.
we are all in the same channel. Who cares what you did before?
Yeah.
Right now, you're good, right?
And you know what I say about that? There's this really good thing about certifications. And when I went to supervise the exam, I told them which was like, especially the ISTQB ones. So we're talking about they're all different, but the main ones that we get. So you were
The
asking
departure
the
point,
most common one,
fundamental.
or was the ISTQB for software testing, and I think it makes sense since we're in STARS to talk
Hmm.
about ISTQB, which was you have a minimum score to pass. Of course, if you get more is better, but in the certificate it doesn't say. So what I mean in the certificate, an official
Hmm.
one, what I mean is nobody cares if you passed with the minimum one or
It's
with the
pass fail.
maximum.
That's it.
What that means that you can still fail. It's okay to fail. You just can't fail that much.
Not much.
Exactly. It's just like you will always do mistakes. Even the advanced levels, you will always do mistakes. It's okay. It's common.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter how many years of experience you have. You just have to pass. You just have to do a good job,
Yeah,
or at least in the certification, the minimum good job. So this kind of calms them, to know, like, of course they will know to themselves, but still, it's good.
it's aggregating a little bit of assurance, ease of
Yeah.
mind, or I know that when you're up about to present an exam,
Hmm.
whatever, even if you're experienced at times, like, oh my god, what if they ask like this that
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know? Uh, it will show up that little corner that I totally don't know, or and you get like in these
Nervous.
mental stories or states that you're making up things. But now to ramp down, we are almost getting at the end. I promise you to not to steal you much time.
I'm
But
good now.
what? Yeah, no,
I'm
you're a
forced to
already. I can
volunteer,
tell.
but
But
did I pass the test?
say what?
Did I pass the test?
Totally, you're certified
Yes,
now to
certified
be here on the
interview.
conferences, and I think we have a comment.
Oh,
Check this. Um, Go, Maria, Javier Chavez.
oh,
Oh, hola, Javier.
hola
We have
Javier,
an audience.
gracias.
That's
Is
awesome.
it like,
Uh,
how's Berlin?
yeah, Javier reporting from Berlin is watching us,
Yeah.
and another friend from Brightest.
Hmm.
Oh, we are about to have an event in Mexico City with Javier. Stay
Yes.
tuned.
Stay
Things are
tuned. We
getting
can't say anything.
being cooked. Uh, we can't.
No, I can't. I'm joking.
Oh,
It's the
I was like,
suspense.
did I just? But it's
Did you
out,
learn
right?
about the suspense technique? It's
I
like
have been promoting it for a while now. Oh, I'm in trouble.
no.
um, but to close up a little bit,
Hmm.
what would you recommend our audience, people that want to get into IT or QA or get
Yeah.
better at it, or are thinking about certifications, needing them, thinking about
Hmm.
it? What would you recommend to the people in terms of benefits, how to prepare, or anything that you would like to say? This is your time.
Oof, there's a lot of things that I can say.
Go for it.
Okay, so it depends on which stage you are. If you're already if you're already an experienced tester or not, or if you're trying to get. But I think that first of all, it's to actually get to know the common ground. So if you're doing the transitioning, follow people, learn about people in the field, talk to them, understand what they do, what is the day to day. Like you just asked me in the beginning, what do you
Mm-hmm.
do, right? So understand, see the trends, of course, but first is a common ground, right?
Yeah.
So understand the basics of the basics. Then the second would be try to follow a niche. So there's a lot of trends, especially in quality assurance, and
Oof.
performance testing is just one of them, for
We're having
example.
lots of changes, yeah.
So find the one you're more interested about. But the first you have to know them all, at least a little bit, right? So the
Mhm.
second is like, okay, try to go deeper. And then try to attest your knowledge about that, your knowledge or experience. Of course, you can, like I said, you can do it through experience, through networking, but having a certification, like having a bachelor's, like doing a training, is always good. So I would say try to see the certification that would get you into that specific field, and be the most specific. Pun.
Mhm.
I'm so many puns, and be the most specific about it. So for example, if you want to be an agile one, there's so many that you can go through, right? There's a specific one, right? If you want to be the performance or the DevOps, cloud, there's so many fields you can go into it. So just
And
first
new
of all,
ones popping up now. There's the
mhm.
AI certification,
Oh, the
right?
AI
There
and
are a few new ones coming
there's
around that,
AI,
right?
yeah, and we in United Certifications we have machine learning, so the AI took to machine learning, so it's a whole world. It can be a little bit overwhelming,
Yeah.
but that's why I say first common ground, just the grasp of it, and second find the one or maybe two maximum that you really like, and get deep into it, because you can't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically about that, and in certification is the same. So, and if you want to go through it with certification, just try to see that path. A nice TQB website. If you email us, we can help you, we can advise you which is the best one for you to take. And as Leandro said, certifications don't guarantee you a job or a job progression, all of that, but it do guarantee that they validate your knowledge, which first of all can help you a lot as a professional, just for your ego and self-esteem, to be honest, to be more confident
I have
about
a
what you're
little medal
doing.
here. That's it.
No, it's really like you get more confidence about what
Yeah.
you're doing, because like you said, you learn what you didn't know.
You feel
So
better.
you get better, right? So even if it doesn't help you directly. But second thing, just for me to
Mm-hmm.
just finish up this, it's like especially STQB is a requirement not only for individuals but for companies. What I'm saying is there's this partner program, and there's also governments and all institutions that prefer to have a company
Yeah,
working for
that
them that
has.
have people certified from an international standard. We see that in IFBOOK. IFBOOK works a lot, the companies who get certified from
Mm-hmm.
IFBOOK work a lot with government, especially in Brazil and Italy. That's why there's a specific demand for this, because for them to get the contracts. So if an individual has this certification, uh, it's like having one more star, like
Yeah.
it just makes you more appealing, more attractive for a
It makes
company.
you prettier.
It makes you prettier for the HR,
At the
basically.
very least, you feel prettier with
Yeah, yeah.
that.
No, it does. And because of the company that gets into the partner program, can only get through the employees. Do
Interesting.
you know that?
I
So,
didn't know.
so for example, a company has 100
Employees.
QAs.
Uh huh.
Let's say QAs. 10 have a certification, the CTFL. They can already apply. If they only have one, they can't. So, and then they have, instead of 10, they have 15, but five of them have advanced levels. They can apply for another level. So it's like gets higher and higher. So it means like it's kind of the trust
Mm-hmm.
level almost. So the company is relying on the employees as well. So it just makes an individual professional more appealing.
It's two-sided, and that as well. That I remember, to become a partner, to become, you needed
Hmm.
some amount of certifications. I
Yeah.
remember those parts. Uh, and you mentioned something really good that we're gonna close with. That look for the ones that are relevant, important to you, to the
Hmm.
industry.
Yeah.
We don't want you doing any more waterfall certifications or again, agile AI,
Yeah.
what is relevant, what is trending, and what will hopefully get you in a better position,
Hmm.
uh, knowledge wise, experience
Yeah.
wise, and being hireable, of course. But with that, I want to thank you very
Yeah.
much, very, very much to have accepted, Maria. It's
Thank you.
Maria, not Maria. I keep,
Maria.
I get on the
Maria.
Maria,
Maria.
Maria.
Yeah, the A's
Okay.
are soft.
Yeah, yeah, Maria. I'm a Spanish, I sing
I
it, so I
know.
know.
If you
It's
wanted to say it right, I'm telling you.
Maria.
Good. Perfect.
In this zone. It's like you have to put the thing. So such a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
If you're looking for certifications, they are important. Pay attention to what Maria has come
Yeah.
and shared
Contact
with us.
Brightest.
Yeah,
Contact.
yeah.
Just
Take a
little
look.
bit, yeah.
What's Brightest webpage? Where can people find more?
Brightest.org, or you can also contact us directly by email, info@brightest.org. So we do the exam for you. Either also, just a little bit about the service. It can be from home, it can be from a test center, or in groups. We go to the companies. So like I said, we
There are
try to
multiple
make
ways.
the smoothest experience possible, and in different languages, as I told you.
And to close, speaking of different languages,
Oh no.
any message in Portuguese that you would like to send people
Oh, I can't say.
back
Well,
home or whatever you want to
what
say?
should I say?
I don't know.
Like,
Hola.
oh no,
Bom dia.
if we're ending, it should be bye. It should be
Something
like
deep,
something
like
deep.
intense.
Ok. Assim é um bocadinho difícil. Pronto. Muita força a todos aqueles que estão a tentar estudar e entrar na área de software testing, para todos aqueles no Brasil, em Portugal, em todos os países que falam português. Pronto, e basicamente uma grande força para a comunidade de testers, de QAs, e um beijinho grande para todos vocês.
Muito bom, muito bem.
Muito bem, muito bom,
entendi
muito bom.
pouco. Thank you so much, and thank you for those words for the audience. And thank you everybody watching. We will be having more famous and great people like Maria. I was about to say it wrong.
Try to say my second name.
What's your second name?
João.
João?
João.
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 João. I have to. João. Have the voice.
Now
like
you got it. I got it.
All right. We're just going to click end the stream now. And I'll see you later because we have more friends, more awesome people. This is Star East 2023. We're just on second day of the conference. We'll be back soon. And we have to keep talking and doing something because when we click and the stream, it doesn't end right away.
Yeah, I know.
So we will be notified when everything